Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Happy Wednesdays. I'm your guy, Rez, and you already know we are back again on this Wednesday evening. Woo, it is pretty hot. I'm not going to lie, out here in California, guys. We do have summer weather right now, man. Heat wave has been hitting us hard this week, this past weekend, and also today, this Wednesday evening. But not going to let that stop the live from continuing, man. You already know we are back again for another edition of Rez live streams, guys. Episode 76, man. My live streams are now becoming a senior citizen here. So we will commence with the live in just a moment here. I just want to introduce everybody that is new to the live. If you guys are wondering what this is, I do these lives every Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Different topics every week. I try to be, add a little variety to this live and just kind of go over things. I do have a guest. I'm gonna let hop on right now, and hopefully we get more people hopping on shortly here. Yo, yo. What is going on, mighty fan? What is
I know you.
Oh,
I remember seeing you a few weeks ago.
yeah, that is quite the meetup that we had, at the East Coast just a few weeks ago, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the live, mighty, and just kind of going over everything. That's another thing too that might be brought up in this live was just the overall meetup that we had, a couple weeks ago out in Connecticut, to be specific, Hartford. It was nice. How was your experience being out there? Because I know you met Snacks before, but
it was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad everything worked out. And it was great to see all you guys. And again, huge shout out to Snacks for putting it together and being such a great host and a gracious host. And his girl had just a tremendous meal on that Sunday. That potato salad. I don't know how it was that good, but it was that good. And it was a blast. I mean, meeting up, of course, on that Saturday at the hall and having a lot of fun and meeting you for the first time and Luca for the first time and, seeing the rest of the fellas there. It was just a great thing. And, when you have a group of friends that honestly, mostly you just kind of know off of the, what we do on YouTube and in the groups, to have meetups like this, it's a special thing. And, we've known each other for so many years, but at least for you and me, it was the first time meeting in person. And I thought it was tremendous. I took a lot away from that trip. I really did. And I can't wait for the next one.
yes, I definitely, I second that. I really, being out and not only to meet you guys for the first time, but being out on the East Coast for the very first time, believe it or not, guys, that was the first time I've ever been out to the East Coast by myself. Well, I don't even think I've been there at all. I think my dad said, I went to New York when I was a little kid, but I don't even recall. I mean, I was probably too young at the time. But yeah, being out there as an adult, on my own, that was another thing. I was like, God, I hope I don't get lost here, because I'm not really I'm not really the traveler on my own. I usually go with my wife when I go out on excursions like that. But no, this was the first time where I actually went out on my own to the East Coast, and big shout outs to Rivalry, Mac, for opening his home to me, because again, I know stuff is not cheap out there. I know things can get pretty costly. I know there's a lot of planning involved for types of meetups like that, especially since there's different time zones. I think that was the hardest thing for me, was adjusting to the jet lag, because believe it or not, the whole time I was out there, I was running on probably 3 to 4 hours of sleep almost every day.
I can believe it.
you know?
Because it's tough because you are in a different time zone, but you're also so amped.
Yeah.
Because you're with good friends and you want the day to come quick so you can have more fun, and you're doing so much, and there's so many memories and everything. It just keeps you up. You're not really, you don't even feel tired at
Yeah.
night until you get some hours and whatnot, but then you're up like a light the next day,
Mhm.
ready for those next adventures.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was a bit concerned because I was like, how am I not tired? I'm literally running on 2-3 hours of sleep. And I was like, if I was at home right now and I slept, that little,
Mhm.
I would be a wreck, but I was fine. Like I felt the hardest part for me was trying to shut it down,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, like I could stay up for another few hours or so, and I'm like, dude, the sun is up already. Like I need,
Last night was like that for me because I went to the Phillies game. Came home late, and I didn't put the AC on. We've been having this freaking heat and rain and on and off, and it just the muggies and everything. It's been, yeah. So, but yesterday I didn't think it was too bad. So I turned off the AC before I went to work. I usually keep it off when I go to work. No sense keeping it off if I'm not here.
Mhm.
And I came home and it felt okay. So I'm like, all right, I probably don't need to run it. And I went out, I went to the game, I came back, and it was it was kind of hot, and I just couldn't sleep. I was just, so I just had the sports talk radio on and on my phone, and I'm just tossing and turning a bit. I think I only got like 2.5, 3 hours sleep, and then I have to get up early the next day for work, which wasn't very pleasant. But I made it through. I made it
Mhm.
through okay, and now I'm on with you. So I mean,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. It was really
I
hard
I
trying
do
to.
try to come on if I'm not already passed out on the recliner next to me. That's the problem. Sometimes I'm like, all right, it's a Wednesday night. It's a
Yeah, no, it's trust me, I get it. It was hard. It was hard for me to get back in the grind of things too. Like when I got back to California, everybody was so excited. They're like, "Oh, when's this vlog that you're doing
yeah,
gonna come out?"
yeah,
I'm like, dude, like you know, I haven't even unpacked yet, and let alone, organized everything. So I got through 2 episodes right now,
yeah.
2 parts. Working on the third right now, which is gonna basically entail our epic meetup at the hall, and there may be a part 4, possibly, but I don't know yet. I have to go through all of the footage and see how long we're dealing with, because there was a lot of filming that I did
Oh
when
yeah.
I was out
Oh, I remember. But you did a great job with the first 2 episodes, and
there. Thank
and
you.
I thought it was funny because you come to the Northeast. You're not going to go back hungry. All those places and eating and the portions, and yeah,
Oh my goodness.
the Northeast, they know how to
Yeah, no, you
they
guys,
know how to feed.
the East Coast, man, I tip my hat out to you guys, because you guys definitely know how to bring the ruckus, man. Because
Well,
that food that I had, man, I think it was on Thursday.
yeah,
Mac took me to that spot, Kelly's, which they did
yeah,
like grilled beef sandwiches, seafood,
yeah,
and that was the day we were going to Fenway Park to watch the Red Sox versus Marlins. And I was like, I gotta have a Fenway Frank, like
yeah.
that was like one of the things on my bucket list. The roast beef was so filling, I could not eat for an entire day. And even later
Yeah.
that night, when we went to that Boston Burger Company spot, I tried to eat. I mean, I did eat, but like it took that long. Like we were
Yeah.
there at like probably 9 or 10 at night. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had Kelly's at like probably 10 in the morning. So that was literally a 10+ hour increment, me getting hungry again. So I was like, my God, this is this is unreal.
Well, if we ever do another meetup in this area in
Nope.
Philly and you come out, hey Jake, I got to get you guys over to the. I took Snacks there and his girl in the past. I know I took Slim. I got to get the group to the Reading Terminal Market because you can find anything in there to eat. It just, cheesesteak, anything you want, seafood, pizza, it's all there. And you're not going to go in and come out hungry. So it's one of those places that's, it just has a smorgasbord. There's Pennsylvania Dutch in there, all sorts of stuff. And it's, if you can't find it in there, you can't find it.
Man, that sounds delicious.
But so no, it is great, and I'm glad you had such a good time in Boston with Mac and Adam, and it looked like a blast there on the duck boats and everything, and so that's very cool.
This is my souvenir, by the way, guys.
Nice.
Although I can only stomach seeing all that Boston sports stuff for so long, I'm like, all right, I understand they're at the TD Garden. This is all that. Yeah, I get it.
It was bizarro world, man. Because like I said, if you guys saw the vlog, they did not have all their championship banners up there. They're like, oh yeah, the other 10 banners are being cleaned for maintenance. I'm like, how are you going to do a sports tour and not have all the freaking Boston Celtics banners at the TD Garden? Like that doesn't make any sense.
At the very least, displayed. Maybe not necessarily up in the rafters, but at the very least, just there.
What up, Danny? Yeah, no, it was cool. Seeing the Bruins, the TD Garden Pro Shop was pretty nice. Like I said, they had some Marcus Smart authentics.
Yeah,
had a bunch of swingmans there.
And some Bruins stuff too.
Yeah, I think the Bruins
camera would make it over there because it looked like they had some of the reverse retro 2.0 sitting there. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
did they?
I mean, I was looking for a Pooh Bear jersey, but I didn't see them when I was out there. But
funny enough, I literally just got 2 more reverse retros in today, and I have 1 more coming in the next day or 2. It's so weird. Well, let's put it this way, Mighty. As you know, it's sort of one of those things. It's like, I may pick up a few, and before you know it, you have a chance to get like 20 of them.
It's
not necessarily
like this time of year. You can find good deals on hockey.
Oh yeah,
I just found one on a Stamkos jersey, and because people aren't really thinking hockey this time of year, so you can kind of grab.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I say, if you go to the Adidas USA website, they have like a lot of reverse retros for like $95 each.
No,
for some of them, and like there's some of them that are like $114 though. Like a couple of them, ironically enough, the Philly or the Flyers one is like $114, or at least I'm like,
that's kind of odd.
Yeah, that's interesting, but
it's really a plain Jane one. But
yeah, I mean, as far as like hockey stuff goes right now, like you said, Mighty, like I'm not really looking for any stuff right now because of how hot it is. But some people like to look at stuff when it's not in season.
That's the best time to get the good deals on stuff like that's when no one.
I mean, I definitely think it's worth looking at because there's not really much people going after this stuff.
You can't wear them now, but I no way.
Holy no! Almost $500 for the MLB All Star Nike.
Oh yeah, there's
what in the world, dude?
Riddle me this, Neil, and riddle me this, Rez. How can you get game-issued jerseys for half the cost of a retail authentic? Think about that.
That makes
I have them.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't even care what the player is. It's like if you want to, you could always strip it down too.
You can strip it.
Worst comes to worse, and it'd still be like $200 less.
It's the same. It literally is a team issue or game. The Phillies have a stand. Ironically enough, not far from the pro shop, from the clubhouse store. And you can find like team issue jerseys for like 200, something like that. And you go in this and it's like the retail authentic is sitting there for, $450 or whatever it is. And it's just,
and of course, with it being the pro shop, it's always a little bit more.
Yeah, well,
I do get a little discount, but even with that, it's like it doesn't make sense. I can just go just a little bit away, and I can pick up if they have it in my size. Team issue, And like Jake's, I could, if I wanted to get it stripped to another player, I could do it.
What makes it? But what constitutes MLB jerseys retailing for like $400 or $500 as opposed to like a
it's just Nike being
basketball?
greedy.
Like, but what is it though that separates the MLB from?
I have
don't
no idea.
I have no idea either. That's why I haven't bought an MLB jersey in probably close to like 7 or 8 years.
I mean, people like split hairs with some of the price of the other Nike stuff. I honestly think, and I know the price kind of goes up every year by 10, 20 bucks. I honestly think that they're on point with the price. For basketball, it's actually a pretty decent deal. For football, I don't think it's too bad. But baseball, they just like fell off the cliff and hit their head. They're like, oh, well, this jersey, even the blank jerseys are expensive. Like, what? How do you expect people to buy these things?
Yeah, exactly.
Even with the paying for,
I don't get it.
Makes no sense.
Especially when you get, again, a game jersey for about the same price as a replica.
Doesn't make any sense.
But hey, I mean,
but they sell. Like if you go on the sites, they're just about out of stock of stuff. So I mean, they're selling. People are buying them, but it's like, damn.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jake. Like, I haven't really bought a current MLB authentic, like in years. Like, it's just I can't justify spending, $400 or $500 on a jersey that's probably going to change styles,
especially for the Twins. Like the Twins have changed their uniforms like 3 times since Nike's taken over. Like, how do you? It's like the City Edition from the NBA every year. It's like eventually you just run out of ideas, or there's only so much money going around here. I mean, let's be honest here. It's one of those things where even if you just buy of your team, there's always like 3 or 4 options on top of that, and it's just like, it's crazy.
Head scratcher for me for sure. I mean, I personally I couldn't do it. Like, I can't just.
And as much as I love baseball, baseball is my favorite sport to collect. It just is. Baseball jerseys, and I love them all. But baseball, if I had to be held down and say what's your favorite, is baseball. For me, not to go after authentic Nike jerseys, there are players that I would love to have their authentic jersey, and I know, if you look hard enough, you can probably find. On a secondary market, you might be able to find one, or get a blank and have it done, or get a scrub player, or a team issue and have it turned into whatever player. I get all that, but I would like to just be able to just go on the Fanatics and grab an authentic jersey, but I can't justify that price. It makes no sense.
Well, for me, I have to say my favorite jersey of collecting would probably still be, and probably will be, even once Fanatics takes over, NHL jerseys.
Sure.
There's just something about the sweaters.
Oh yeah.
For the price, I mean, even retail, like $180 isn't horrible.
No.
Granted, I don't know what it's going to be like once Fanatics takes over, but it's stuff like that. But again, that's a different topic for a different day there. But it's just one of those things where I just love the overall design of like NHL jerseys and like hockey jerseys, just from an aesthetic standpoint. Even if
hockey jerseys are a lot of fun.
So what's your cutoff point when you're like, no, I can't do it, like for a jersey?
For me,
you have one?
Well, I'd say this bad boy right here, this cost me like, well, I'm almost afraid to admit it, but it was $280 at the pro shop. That's about where I draw the line. I mean, let's put it this way, even my Made in Canada jerseys were like $200 or less, or right around $200, which is, again, just a little bit more than a retail Indonesia. And you're actually getting the on ice, which, by the way, the feeling of the Made in Canadas versus the Indonesian, I mean, it's just unbelievable how much difference there is.
Really?
So I'll be kind of curious to see once this upcoming season once this upcoming season ends and they like blow out all the Adidas jerseys.
Yeah.
See if we start kind of seeing more of those, MIC.
I mean, they're going to be sitting. I like, you're going to see them float around for a little bit. I mean, it's kind of like when the MLB went from was it Majestic, like Cool Base, and they switched over. There was a lot of blanks that were flying off, in the markets for pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I say that would have been the perfect time for a lot of people to snatch up as many blanks as they could. So
that's always what I'd recommend too, especially for like the younger, maybe, kind of first time collector and stuff like that. Cause that's what I did, I'd go on like eBay, I'd go on Dick's, clearance section, find a $40, $50 jersey of a player that's no longer on the team and kind of, go from there basically, doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Those Adidas sales are going to be interesting.
I know.
Oh,
going to be given.
I'm going to be looking.
Yeah, next thing I know, I just see like an Adidas truck backing up to Mighty's house. Give me all the flyers. Come on, back it up.
No. I had my eyes on. I told a buddy of mine at work who's a Penguins fan. I said I have my eyes already on a Mishkov jersey in 3 years when he comes over from Russia. The newest Russian explosion player, and he's all ours, baby. He's all Connor Gauthier and Mishkov. Those are going to be my guys.
By the way,
going to have their Flyer jerseys. I'm going to be ready.
What are your thoughts on the new Flyers unis?
I still have to see when there's only so much you can do with the Flyers uniform. It's
pretty much
they streamline this, they do that. But I like them. I think they did okay. But I have to see one of those in person. But I think as far as how high would I go, the most I paid for one jersey, and it's sitting on that rack over there. It's an old run, rare unicorn jersey. It was the Ron Jaworski LA Rams Mitchell and Ness.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And the seller got me for $600 on it. And we had a little payment plan for it, and I bought a few other jerseys, from him, all hitters. But the Jaws I had to have. It was one of those things where I'm committing to it, and as I'm committing to it, I'm like, all right, well, this one takes the record for me for how much I spent on one jersey. But it just felt to me like that I have to have this. I can't let this thing get away. It's you rarely ever see it. The only time I saw it was Slim had one. And I'm like, you know what? I just fell in love with that jersey, and I always thought if I ever have a chance at this thing, I got to get it. And oh boy, I had to take a couple deep breaths after that one, but I said, all right, we worked a deal for the other jerseys. We kind of put it on a package deal, and I had a little payment plan with him. But that's as high as I would go. But normally, I would probably say I won't go more than 3, 4. And that would be the high. I mean, that would be like, and even if I ever did that, it would be for something that's rare and something that I know it's worth that price for me.
Yeah,
that's a good hour in Vegas with.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I don't gamble, so this is I gamble on eBay. That's my gambling.
For me, I mean, I think anything. Realistically, I think for me, like the absolute max that I would drop on a jersey. I'm talking about retail, by the way, guys. I'm not talking about game issued or game worn or autographed.
Right.
Yeah, that's a different beast altogether.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But I think for me, I'd say about 350 is my limit. I know there's like, I mean, depending on what it is, I really don't want to spend $400 or up on a jersey, a retail jersey, especially something that I plan on wearing, which will devalue the jersey over time. That's just how it is. You wear your stuff, it's going to be, it's going to lose at least 25-30% of its value for what you paid for. I mean, depending, again, there's certain jerseys that are just rare all around and you probably won't see it again. Those are the ones that are always going to hold value. But, if you wear a current day Mitchell and Ness, Kobe Bryant jersey, and you try to sell it, chances are you're not going to get what you paid for. You might get less, I mean, depending if you got it under retail or not. But I think for me, like I said, $350, and I think my most expensive jersey. I want to say it was my Wayne Gretzky Oilers, Edmonton Oilers Authentic by Mitchell and Ness. I paid a little over $300 for that thing, and I was already like what did I just do? But I just like $400 or $500. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't have the guts to pull the trigger on that type of thing, man. Because I think about it too. It's like, imagine all these other jerseys you can get for that price.
I could get this one jersey, or I could literally.
Yeah, I mean,
it depends on the jersey, though.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
exactly.
It depends on it. Like if you know for sure it's a unicorn, it's rare. You might see it if you're lucky once a year, once every other year. Like, I'll tell you, full disclosure, if I ever went that high on another jersey, it would be the Billy White shoes, powder blue Oilers. That's the only other jersey out there. If I saw it and I had to throw $6 on it, I would throw it on it because I know how damn rare, and that got away from me once. So if I had to do it again, it would be just for that one. I wouldn't go that crazy on anything else, not even the Gaylord Perry Mariners. But it depends on the jersey. Like I said, if I know, like particularly with Mitchell and Ness, if I know, okay, this is an older run, what's the chances? I do a lot of like crunching numbers, right? I see something, I'm like, how often is this going to come up? If what's my high on this? Okay, let me see if I can get it for this. If I can't get it for this, it wasn't meant to be, but maybe I'll find it again later in the year or next year, what have you. If it's something that I just know is just so rare, it's a unicorn, and I'm willing to, and particularly if it's something that's already gotten away from me a few times, because then you get competitive. Then you get competitive with yourself, right? It's like, okay, I couldn't get for this. Oh, I'm going to blow this sucker out of the water. I'm going to put this bid. No one's going to beat me, right? That gets a little dangerous. But you just have to – I always say, what's the jersey worth to you, dollar-wise? And if you're willing to pay that price, that's what you're willing to pay for it. I mean, there's always going to be stuff that get away from us. But the stuff that we're able to grab, and there are plenty of deals out there, as we know. But every now and then you got to go a little higher. And that's just how it is. But if it's for a rare piece, I'm okay with, at the end of the day, I can look myself in the mirror and say I still did okay because I have something that's super rare. I spent a little extra on it. Maybe I could have gotten 2 or 3 jerseys for this price, but those 2 or 3 jerseys are still going to be around. This one I might not have been able to get again. So that's just, at the end of the day, it's a decision I live with.
Also, it doesn't hurt too that there's now like the pay in 4 options and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's helpful.
Which help kind of stomach some of that a little bit more. Because case in point, that's the only reason why I even have as many of the reverse retros and even my MICs that I do is because of that pay in 4. Because even
it's dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
I know firsthand. I currently have one today. I used one today.
I did too.
Yeah.
Damn you, PayPal.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at the Redskins Sammy Baugh that Mitchell Ness released. My God, that thing! I had no idea how much people were willing to spend for that jersey.
Yeah.
I saw it jump from $120 in like 1 minute to like $395 just like that in 5 seconds, and I immediately unwatched it. I was like, I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
To get this thing, but I mean that's a definition of a really rare old gold type Mitchell and Ness jersey. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Sammy Baugh is the Mitchell and Ness jock tag for NFL jerseys, and
I did not know that actually.
I think he still gets royalties for it.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think him and Peter worked out a deal.
That's cool.
Many years ago, and I think he still, if I remember correct. I think he does. No, I got mine from Nostalgia Boys some years ago, and he gave me a good deal for mine.
Yeah.
So I did okay. I came out okay. But that is one of those that, the old run of it.
I had no idea. I was like, this would be nice. I've actually been getting into a lot of like older Doreen stuff. I don't know if you guys saw. I recently got a Willie Davis Grambling State.
Yeah, it's a beautiful jersey.
I saw that one. Yeah, that's nice.
I got it for $25. And hey, I was like, this is a great deal. Let's see what else I could find. And I saw the Sammy Baugh, and I was like, all right, let's put a little number here. And then it jumped to like 400. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Yep. I'm good. Let's see what else there is now.
Maybe not Sammy Baugh.
Yeah.
There's always those, there's always those jerseys that pop up, and kind of like a diamond in the rough type of thing, when there's not people really looking for this, or, you don't even know it existed. There's a lot of stuff that I found that I didn't realize existed. And, that's kind of the joy of the hunt. It's one of those things that I find to be very entertaining, and it's fun, and it gives you a chance to learn more, about the sport, about the player, about the jersey run, or whatever the case may be. And, I always try to find stuff on eBay. Like, I always try to have a set list, and I always kind of go this way or go that way, because there's so many different. There's endless.
eBay always sends you down rabbit holes.
Yes,
if you're looking at an auction, it says you might also be interested in this, and it gives you like a list of jerseys, and then you look at that one, and it's that one's nice too. It just sends you in all these different, rabbit holes. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have a pickup that I got with that Willie Davis, because I actually bought it in a bundle deal. But I'll share with you guys what I got right now.
All right.
Bundle deals are always nice.
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, well, case in point, even, with the MICs on like eBay and stuff like that, I was going on there because I'm like, okay, these have to be expensive. I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's retail. Or better yet, I even went on the Winnipeg Jets actual pro shop, and I found a Jets Heritage White, the one with the circle.
Yeah.
For like $227. Brand new with tags and everything.
Wow.
All right, so I got this. It's interesting because the Willie Davis and this jersey, they're actually samples by Adidas.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know who this is.
Can't say.
That's not. I mean, it's not. I'm thinking that it's a 23, but I can't imagine that's Jordan or LeBron.
No.
It's the football jersey, right?
Yes.
Is it a college or?
So what
it
that
is
like a? 23. I mean, that's not an Alabama jersey.
No.
No.
Good guess though.
Texas A&M.
What university is that? Texas A&M? No.
It's Arkansas, the Razorbacks.
Oh, Arkansas. Okay.
Wait, is that a Jerry Jones?
No. I'll let you guess one more time.
It's not. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
It is Draymond Green. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually Lance Allworth.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Even older than that. Well,
I never knew his college. I
never did
knew him as a Charger. Wow.
Yeah. Lance Bambi Allworth.
Oh, that's super cool.
And this jersey, believe it or not, I got this in a package deal. And like I said, it was a sample. So they did right underneath it.
Oh my.
But these were all. So this seller, I guess he found this jersey and from a seller, and they had a bunch of sample True School Authentics. So for those of you who are wondering, this is made by Adidas. The one that made like Jesse Sapolu,
yeah,
Willie Davis, and all that stuff.
Wow.
And they had a bunch of sample runs, and I was kind of kicking myself because I saw the seller. He was selling a bunch of stuff. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, can we work out like a package deal? Because you have a lot of jerseys I'm interested in. And he sold a lot. Like, I was at work, things ended, best offers or whatever. And I was like, damn. Because he had a lot. He had a Bill Cartwright San Francisco State jersey, which I wanted to get. Yeah. That was a sample. He had an Inglewood Reggie Theus high school jersey, which was beautiful. he had this, he had the Willie Davis, and he's still posting stuff right now. But he told me that he acquired all this stuff from a garage sale. And I guess the guy had a box of all these sample Adidas jerseys before they started actually selling them, to the public. And this was a sample run, even though they did release this later on. But when I saw this, I was like, I gotta have this. Like this is one of those things.
An interesting conversation piece too.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
something else.
Yeah, so it is the numbers are a little wrinkled. I'm gonna try and do some Jersey Jaguar tutorial to try and bring this, but it doesn't look too bad. It's definitely
beautiful. That's a really, really, really nice, super rare.
Yeah.
Piece right there. I couldn't think Lance Allworth when I'm looking at the front of him. Like 23.
Believe me, I thought the same thing. I thought it was Joe Namath at first, and I was like, but he wore number 12.
Yeah, and he went to Alabama.
Even though
he wore 12. Yeah, he was always 12.
Yeah.
Well, what number did Jerry Jones wear at Arkansas? Does anyone remember or anything?
I don't remember. I remember seeing like the documentary or something, and they were talking, and he was like, you saw him in the team picture, but I forgot what number he wore.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be able to tell you, unfortunately.
Didn't like Switzer go there around the same time or something, or he was teammates with someone. I forget who he was teammates with.
I mean, that would have been probably around that same time period, like the early 60s would be my guess.
Yeah, because Switzer obviously coached Ole Miss.
Those are nice.
See, I haven't looked at college football jerseys enough over the years.
Yeah,
I just have a small little collection.
I feel like with me, I really like the collegiate jerseys just because they're beautiful. They're very unique, and there's so many colleges around the world and around the United States. It makes you learn a lot, especially about people where they came from. Like Jerry Rice when he went to Mississippi, like there's a jersey out there right now, his Mississippi jersey that I'm actually considering getting too. Fairly cheap. These jerseys, again, not a lot of people know about them, so they're kind of one of those sleeper things. Yeah. It's just funny though, because I always get eyeballed by people when I wear college jerseys that are not from my area. They're like, "Did you come from Eastern Michigan? Are you from like, like where are you from?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from here."
Yeah.
Like, so what's the significance? I'm like, Jersey head.
So you inspired me. I'm gonna go throw one of mine on.
Go for it. That's what I love about Mitchell and Ness right now too, about the college jerseys that they're dropping. Like, I know they did that Eddie George Ohio Buckeyes. Like, that's something that I might eye. Shout out to Snacks for doing that review on it. And like I feel like I get a lot more inspired like getting college jerseys, as opposed to like modern day stuff. But again, like I said, it's I'm not opposed to it. It's just I get a different feeling when I get college jerseys.
Yeah.
People are just like so fascinated. They're like, who is that? Who is that? Or like, oh, I know that person. I went to school with this person and stuff like that. So
especially because like what colleges are up around you? Like, are you close to like San Jose State and areas like that then?
Yep. Yeah. So we're also the Spartans. We have I think that's like the only big call. There's Cal, which is the Bears. Berkeley. Yep, that's where Jason Kidd and stuff went to.
How far are you from Stanford then?
Stanford, very close. I'd say about probably 30 minutes or so.
All right.
We're taking my dad.
So there are a few universities up and around you then.
Oh yeah. I mean, like college sports is big in California. We even have USF. University of San Francisco is up north, and then there's just so many different colleges out here and sports too. We have the A's currently. I don't know for how much longer, but we have the Giants, the Warriors. We had the Raiders. We have the Sharks. We have the Kings, which are not too far from us. We have the San Jose Giants, which is the minor league. We have the Barracudas. just we had the SaberCats at one point, the San Jose SaberCats for the AFL. Yeah, there's a lot of sports here. And I love towns that rep their teams like that, especially when I was like out there in the East Coast, in the New Hampshire area. There's a lot of Red Sox fans, but that area, like, I don't know about you in Minnesota, like how many like fans are out there, like different teams team wise.
Well, around where I'm at in like Northwest Iowa, Southwest Minnesota area, it's like Iowa, Iowa State, Nebraska are probably like the 3 big ones. Minnesota can have some people, like Wisconsin is a little bit around here, but for the most part, it's like Iowa, Iowa State, and Nebraska are like the 3 big major colleges. And then I went to the University of South Dakota, so I have a couple of those jerseys, but they're FCS level school. And like the big rival is South Dakota State, who actually won the FCS National Championship. Also, the home of Eagles legend Dallas Goedert. Adam Vinatieri came from there. Carson Wentz came from North Dakota State, and I actually saw him play. I can't remember if I actually saw him play at USD when I was there, or if I just happened to watch, like, because, well, one of our like all-time like biggest upset wins is we went up to Fargo and played them like with Carson Wentz as like their starting quarterback and stuff like that, and pulled off like one of the biggest upsets in FCS history at that time. This would have been circa like 2015 and all that stuff. So yeah, Trey Lance is also from North Dakota State. He's actually from Marshall, Minnesota.
Hey, with the Gators, okay?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite college football teams.
Is that Nike?
Yeah, this is
okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go change myself.
Tebow.
All right.
So I got a set of these many years ago off eBay. The seller had the home and away Tebows and just a generic number 1. So of course, being a college jersey, it didn't have the name on the back. So I had them sent off to big time jerseys, and they put the Tebow nameplate on the back of the home and away set.
That's so dope.
Yeah, so
cool, man.
Of course I love all the home teams. I have a Temple jersey, but I thought I'd throw on the Gators because when I'm not, rooting for the home teams here, this is my favorite college football team.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would love to get me a Gators jersey.
The championship patch on there. Tostitos BCS right there when they won. And
that's cool. Do you have any FAMU jerseys?
Have any what?
FAMU, the Florida and A&M.
No.
You don't have any of those.
The only Florida I have is the Gators. Is the only.
I have. I gotta get me that Miami Hurricanes jerseys pretty soon here. The Frank Gore one. That's hot on my list. I need to get that like soon.
Yes. So I have these. I have the Mike Vick, Virginia Tech jerseys. I have the Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State, the Herschel Walkers. You got the red one. I got the red and white Georgia jerseys. I have a Temple jersey. I have a few.
South Dakota, okay.
Uh-oh.
Go Yotes, University of South Dakota Coyotes.
I should be wearing my my San Jose State stuff right now, but I'm too lazy to grab the hat. I'm actually looking. Oh man, I'm kicking myself because there was a team issued San Jose State jersey that I really wanted to add, and it was actually the same style that Jeff Garcia wore. He went to San Jose State, and I was going to get it customized, but somebody beat me to the punch. Somebody bought it for $50. I was like, damn. So,
I think there's still one that I really want to find someday is the Tomlinson LSU jersey.
Ooh.
Number 5.
Yeah.
I've always liked that jersey. I've had chances at it in the past, but never pulled the trigger. But I think this college football season, I'll
Frank Gore's my guy. That's my favorite running back of all time, GTC. I actually met him too, and he was super cool. Here, let me show you my picture when I met him. But yeah, I mean, college-wise, I'm definitely I've got my eyes peeled every now and then. I try to look for some of these when because they pop up like when I'm not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I'm looking, every time I'm looking for something specifically, I'll be like, let me look at this again. And then something shows up and I'm like, ooh, okay, it's my size, or, it's a great price. And that's kind of where, it works in my favor. But yeah, no, like I love college jerseys. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely like a vein I still have to dig into a little more, because there's some really good ones. I mean, the company like Adidas that you showed, they made so many nice throwbacks.
Phenomenal. I know a lot
of company that made them. It was who made the Herschel?
2934 vintage sports.
2934. Yeah,
so,
those are nice.
Yeah,
maybe, spectacular. Actually, the Herschel, those that I have are just immaculate jerseys.
So here's my here's a couple of different. So here's the Herschel Walker.
Oh yeah.
Big shout out to Throwback King. If you guys want to know, I copped this during a live.
Oh nice. Yeah, Adam pressured you.
Yeah, he did. So
you ever get a chance at the white one, Rez? Oh my.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it show up a couple of times, and I kind of wish I got it. But the red one was just like on my list for a long time. There's that. And then we got this one. University of Auburn, Tigers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I have a bow Auburn too, yeah.
This one's a classic. This is made by Russell Athletic, also another brand that I really liked. There's that. And then, of course, going back to the True School Authentic, my University of Hawaii. This is like one of my top 10 favorite jerseys.
That's a nice jersey.
Yeah, I had it tailored by Manolo because this was way too big on me. It was a size 2X or 54 at the time, but I cut it down to like a size 50.
Are there any like specific searches that you do, Rez, to find some of these?
You know what? All I really do is I just type in college, like the brand name. So I'll type in True School Authentic, or I'll type in whatever college brand I'm looking for. And
so the Adidas ones are True School. That's what they're called.
Yeah, Adidas True School Authentic. One thing I will say though, be very careful because they make fakes of those.
Well, if I ever see anything that like catches my eye, I'll send it to you just as like a legit.
Sure.
Yeah. Or Snacks, or because I know you and Snacks, are two of the more that I would consider experts at those. So I'm certainly not. So if I ever see one that like captures the eye, I'm like, I might as well want to send this over to Rez or Snacks just to be sure.
Familiar. Your look if you
yes.
Oh yeah.
At this meetup, this is what I had on.
And you know what, Rez? I don't think people really know how nice a jersey that is unless you see it in person.
Yes.
Especially when you actually have the legit.
I'm telling you, this thing is just beautiful.
It really is.
This was one of my favorite jerseys as well. I had it tailored. Unfortunately, the hem is a little too long, but still wearable. People say that I'm just being nitpicky at this point, but
Back in the days when a 2XL could fit like a dress, now a 2XL fits like a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, that's the thing. Like jerseys now, the way they fit, man, it's just they're not the same. They're nowhere. Like I was actually comparing a 2XL Mitchell and Ness size 52, and they're basically like equivalent to like a size 48, Mitchell and Ness older run, or even a 44 for that matter. Like the things they're just way off. Like,
oh yeah,
and it's not just the jersey.
And again, as a guy who's not necessarily small over here, I mean, when I have to go up to like a 3 or a 4X, you know what I mean, for something that I'm normally an extra large to 2X, and I mean, or what's even crazier too, like. I want to do this sometime if I ever get the chance. Like, just grab 3 of the exact same jersey and size. Like, case in point, let's say like a reverse retro Seattle Kraken jersey. 3 size 56, and just compare all 3 of them, because I bet you all 3 of them fit different.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's not just for jerseys either. The shoot-around jackets that Mitchell Ness makes for basketball for the NBA. Like when I went to earlier in the year, I went for one of their sales, and I saw the Grizzlies jacket and it was a 2X. So I'm like, all right, this should be all right. And I go to try it on, and I couldn't even like hardly get my.
Yeah.
It was like the Chris Farley deal in Tommy Boy. I felt like I was going to rip the damn thing, so I took it off, and I said, all right, I got to get a 3X, and they don't have 3Xs in the store. So luckily, I found a 3X on eBay later on. I was able to grab one. Oh yeah, yeah, I got that one upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wore this when I went on the duck boat.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And then I got this from Adam. Shout outs to Adam. He sold me this actually when I was out there. So these are both made by 2934.
29, yeah.
Also be very careful too, because they make a lot of fix of these. I actually got duped on this brand, unfortunately, because some of their stuff is really hard to tell. I feel like they're like the Reeboks of college jerseys, because those Reebok Authentics are really hard to tell. Like I myself have a really hard time trying to distinguish a Reebok Authentic. I always have to get second opinions on those. But yeah, like I really enjoy the college jerseys. I think they're great. They fit awesome. And there's just a lot of sleepers out there. Like I said, there's just so many things, so many teams, so many players. I would like to get me. Who else am I looking for? I might at some point get me Joe Montana Notre Dame college jersey. Adidas, like I said, that brand made a home and away set for that. So I might add one of those at some point. And then, what else catches my eye? I don't know. The Sapolu, I want the white version, but that thing is not easy to come by. There was one that popped up in June, but it sold for like $70.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Rivalry says the Dream Team reversible practice jersey and the 98 reversible All-Star Game jerseys are at least 2 sizes different. See, I hate that.
I do too. Especially when you're paying for when you're paying like $30-$40 for a t-shirt or something like that, or $100 for a jersey or whatever, and it's 3 of the exact same jersey or shirt that fit 3 completely different weights.
Yeah.
Like it's literally the same thing. It's just, and no wonder why people go insane. You know what I mean? It's just like, case in point, yeah, it's nuts. Like it's just absolutely ludicrous that, like sizes are just like shrinking. I mean, heck, you're lucky if you can find anything above a 56 anymore these days,
Yeah. And a lot of stores I've noticed they've gone away from bigger sizes. It's basically online. Years ago Mitchell Ness did at the flagship. They don't sell anything over a 52. And I guess, I don't know. It goes kind of both ways. Maybe they had trouble selling that stuff. They had overstock. They had to put it in clearance. But there's another. Yeah,
this is a swingman, guys. But
that's all right.
Yeah,
still a nice jersey. I'm actually watching one of those myself on one of the secondary markets because I've never owned one of those.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
But
also sounds like too the NFL is starting to release their alternates, and I'm like, son of a gun.
You know what? Those I can't get down with those Fuse jerseys, man. Just
that's one thing I've heard too.
I'm not gonna. The thing is, what I noticed, the Fuse jerseys for the throwbacks, and I guess for the regulars too, the collar they have like they wear on the field, right? So the NFL shield, even the old for the throwbacks. But it looks a little weird on that one. So when I get them, I would have gotten the replicas anyhow. But I'm going to get the game jersey or whatever they call the replica because the NFL shield looks like it did back in the day on those jerseys. It doesn't have that extra fabric going up. The collar just comes right down normal, and then you have the little NFL shield and obviously the rest of the jersey. So it looks throwback in that regard. The Fuse thing. It's got that collar, and I'm like, that doesn't really
work.
Not
to mention it, too, it's like a swing, man. It's like
it is.
They're not even stitched anymore. Like, at least with the paper,
really?
they were single stitched.
Yeah, why would I want to pay an extra, however much if it's not even stitched? I'll just get the game one for $120 or whatever, and even there's some others for like $100. Like I would get those. I have a Eagles one. I have a Devontae Smith black jersey in I guess the $100 range. It's comfortable as hell. Like I mean, that I'll get those all day. And they look like the collar. It looks vintage. It has that vintage look to it. So I'm just going to go for that. I know the Eagles ones come out on August 1st. The Kelly greens. So I'm definitely going to be looking around at that time. But yeah, I know the Seahawks, Jake, your Vikings, the creamsicles have hit, and some of the others, and I know
unfortunately
the Oilers.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where it's like I kind of pulling a line from you. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, and they're all good. Damn it.
Like I have to admit, Jake, I might have to grab a Jefferson in that. That thing looks too nice.
I'm gonna have to go with Hawk because I already have a Jefferson, but not to mention he's from my home state of Iowa too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
When it comes to like NFL stuff right now, current day, I try to just stick to my teams, man. Like,
yeah,
I mean they get it. I think when it comes to basketball, that's probably the only sport, and that's already pushing it for me because we all know how many city editions and different jerseys the NBA does every season. It's insane. But with the NFL, like I said, I would love to get me a Christian McCaffrey. I'm just waiting for them to drop an authentic for it because they didn't drop one when he got traded mid-season.
I actually have one of the Panther
I remember you picked that up. I wish I got one because I like CMC. I think he went to
I do too.
Went to Stanford, so definitely a Bay Area guy, in that sense. But I would love to get some of his 49er stuff once the season starts and stuff, man.
Oh, and by the way, did you also hear about what's going on with the running backs in the NFL these days too? Sounds like there could potentially be a running back strike. Like there's a lot of high profile running backs that are
the running back position I feel like is a dying breed.
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't even really have anybody playing that position anymore, like just strictly that position. I mean, people mix them.
Henry's like one of the last few that I can really think of that's like a true typical downhill, grind running back. Otherwise, it's basically like a glorified wide receiver back there. And heck, a lot of times they use wide receivers. A la Rez, your team, Debo,
Debo. They called him the wide back. That was his position when he was playing a couple seasons ago, man. And he was, from what I heard, he was frustrated because
we got the tush push here.
The tush,
they just it's a rugby scrum. The Eagles are the best team at it. They'll line up, Hurts, right, and it's like
also doesn't hurt. It also doesn't hurt. That hurts the big boy too.
And they all just combine and get the first down.
Yeah.
Like they were thinking, like the NFL was thinking about not letting it happen. It's like, well, it's not the Eagles' fault that we're just the best at it. Other teams can do it. We do have a rugby player on our line, but I mean, other than that, they just all it's the running backs are behind and they're shoving.
And again, also that Hurts is a pretty big, beefy guy himself.
Oh, he's squat 600 pounds.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's going to get the push on his own, but they kind of. Oh, it's the funniest thing.
Do you guys have any favorite positions in sports, like for football, for instance?
As weird as it is for me, I've always been a defensive line guy. I love the edge rushers. Like Jared Allen was probably one of my first favorite Vikings of all time, and I have several of his jerseys. I found, ironically enough, here about 2 years ago, I found his Chiefs authentic from a Goodwill.com and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't find Jared Allen Chiefs jerseys even in replicas or even fakes, let alone a genuine authentic.
Yeah.
So I pounced on that. And it was $30, and this was 2 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, I think for me, it's a toss-up between linebackers and running backs. I think those are some of my favorite positions, man. Just seeing like, you know, we all know like the legendary running backs like Bo, Barry, Walter Payton, those guys,
Mine's always been
Dickerson.
running back.
You
I've
know,
always running back was my first
it's a
favorite.
fascinating
Still is.
to me.
But
And
I like. I like wide receiver. You know,
Fullbacks are people too.
the fullback. The fullback is. It's a shame. There
Yeah,
used to be some
fullback.
just great and your guys have a great fullback, Rez and use check, but it's a
CJ Ham's
dying
no
breed.
slouch either.
No one
Juice.
has fullbacks.
No, definitely. What wasn't Tom Rathman fullback too? He was,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yep.
he was. So
Ironically, they both wore 44. And
What do you
Yeah.
think?
I never knew
fullback,
it.
that's a
I
number
guess
I've
Juszczyk
seen.
is a young guy. I always wondered, does he wear 40? Did he wear 44 for Rathman?
Yeah.
I guess he was too young for Rathman, but
no, yeah, the fullback position has always been pretty strong with the Niners.
yeah.
You know, and it's one of those positions. It's kind of a sleeper. You don't really pay attention too much to it, but it has such a pivotal role to the game.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and God, like special teams, you know, just a great set of guys, you know, that are playing that role. Great. GTC says Tom Rathman, great hands as a receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Oh, William Floyd, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
William Floyd was another.
Lorenzo Neal.
Mm-hmm. For none.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I definitely agree with you guys, though. I do think the running back position is slowly dying out, and it's a shame because it's one of those things where I don't think there's anybody physical right now who can play that position all season long, you know. And I think the game is evolving too, you know. I think it has a lot to do with that.
Look at some of the running backs that are still sitting out there.
Yeah.
Like
I
literally,
mean,
what was it like? I think there's only like one running back that was like a top 10 rusher that's even on a team past like 2025 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
And we're
the
talking
Eagles,
about we're talking about the guys that were literally like the bell cow running backs.
Oh,
here
yeah.
just 3 or 4
yeah, there's no it's an ever evolving thing. And you know it's cyclical. So at some point, you know, they will go back to running but the quarterbacks have just gotten so athletic. It's almost like they're the running back, you know, another running back on the field. I mean, you look at the things that, you know, Mahomes does. You look at the things that, you know, Hurts is doing. Some of the other, you know, running back, you know, what Mike Vick did years ago, Cunningham, you know, the quarterback position has evolved to an ultra athlete. I mean, ultra athlete. You have to have one of those. Every team feels like this is what you need now.
Yeah.
And it's something. I mean, Fields in Chicago. I mean, he has to learn how to throw a little more, but but he's an athletic freak. I mean, all these quarterbacks are all just athletic freaks. Hurts is an athletic freak. It's just, you know, it's just something else to see, and how many different ways they can beat you. Have you guys started to watch that series on Netflix? The quarterback series.
No, I haven't seen it.
But I've watched
On Netflix.
Oh my God, it's fascinating. It's about 8 episodes. I'm on episode 5. They last season they filmed 3 quarterbacks to document for Netflix. Patrick Mahomes, Jake Cousins, and now they're back up with the Eagles, Marcus Mariota. And they wanted to pick a guy who was at the highest level, a guy who was somewhat kind of, you know, a known guy, but not quite to the, you know, the level of a Mahomes, and a guy who was trying to still make it, you know. It's fascinating. The work that these guys put in on a weekly, you know, schedule to get ready for a Sunday. It's amazing. It's just the things that Pat Mahomes. If I was the owner of the Chiefs, I would be scared to death because this guy goes through some sort of ordeal with his training during the week. I mean, he's doing all these weird. It almost looks like, oh my God, he could, you know, tear something or something before the game even starts. That's just how hard this guy trains during the week. And then all the things they have to learn, all the plays and the signal calls and everything. it is just a fascinating look, an inside look at 3 different quarterbacks in the league, and you see their life outside of it. They all have families, they have kids. You don't think of that, right? We think of these athletes as machines, but they're all human. They're people like us.
Yeah.
They're human. They all
Yeah.
have lives. They have issues. They have to deal with family stuff, right? And yet they still have to balance that football life, right? That what they do on the field and the preparation during the week. And it is amazing. I always love those documentary kind of things. I don't think it's an NFL Films deal. I think it's more of a
What up,
Netflix
Alton?
Sports.
What's up?
But it is amazing. And anyone who hasn't seen it yet, if you have Netflix, make sure you put it on your watch list.
What's it called?
Really great.
You said it's called
Quarterback. It's something with quarterback in it. But
I'll
if you just go to Netflix, you'll see it.
Search it.
It's amazing. But one of the funniest things to me in the whole series is Patrick Mahomes has that Kermit voice, and he gets really like it's not edited. So every curse word he's saying on the field, you hear it. And when he gets so fired up, F this, F that, but it's in his voice. It's just so damn funny. See,
A lot of people say that Mahomes looks like Steph Curry. And I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I can't. This is getting kind of creepy. I can't look at him anymore like this. So
yeah.
I think at one point he was doing his training, and he said he's going to cut the hair. This is the last year for the Mohawk.
The little,
and the trainer's like, why? He's like, well, I'm getting older. You know, the Mahomes, I'm getting older. You know,
I'll check it out, Mac. I'll put that on my list. I'm actually right now I'm watching Breaking Bad, so that's a good show too. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's a really good show. That's an insult to Curry. I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go for it.
No, I was just saying. Speaking of Curry, you know, shout outs to him, man. The ACC golf American Century Championship golf champion. I don't know if you guys saw him. Got a hole in one, man. We know what he's going to be doing when he retires from the game of basketball.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, kind of going back to that, like on like quarterbacks and stuff like that. It's like, because you know, we all see it. I don't know if you guys have like social media and stuff like that, obviously, you know, but you like just go on like your fan base, and case in point as a Vikings fan, the amount of just visceral, pardon my French here, bullshit that gets yelled at with Kirk Cousins is unbelievable. You would think he's like I'm not saying he's a Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he's like a top 3 or 4 quarterback, but I guarantee you there's a lot of teams who would kill to have Kirk Cousins right now as their quarterback.
One of the fascinating things, Jake, and I did a vehicle vlog yesterday on the way to the ballpark. It's on my YouTube channel, and I talked about the series, and one of the things I said, and I brought you up, I said, you know, one of the things they show in the series when they're doing a bit on Kirk Cousins is the punishment that guy takes during games.
Yeah, it's not like our offensive line is the greatest in the world.
He's taking these hits. I don't know too many people that would get up from them. And he's getting up, and he's in pain, but he's still in the game. He's still taking those licks and keeping in there. And it makes you appreciate a little more just the damage that they take. And yet they have to hit. It's their job. They have to get right back up, get back out there. It's the next play. It's, you know, that guy's one tough SOB. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
And
who is this?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
And I know he has that moniker of not winning the primetime games, and maybe that's true, but he is a tough guy.
I guarantee he's a lot better than most of the fans calling him a piece of garbage. And like, you know, I played in high school as like a JV backup. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins could smoke you in a throwing contest.
Yeah, I couldn't play football.
It's one of those
I knew at a young age.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is Mahomes. I'm not saying, but there's a lot worse you could do as a starting quarterback in the league right now than him. I'm just going to stop right there. And yeah, regardless, though, it's just a lot of people keep forgetting, like you say, Mighty, just how much pressure's on a lot of these guys. Case in point, kicking. Field
Yeah,
goal.
if you think of that, every year these quarterbacks, they're looking to find their replacement in the draft, and they have to, the starter has to be the veteran, right? They have to show the young buck how this is how you do it in the league. But that young buck is trying to take your job, trying to take your livelihood. But they have to be the teammate. They have to be the, and they're not going to look. If you have that mentality, you're not going to let anyone take that job, right? Rodgers did it. All these other guys. That's why Carson Wentz just didn't have it. He couldn't quite get over that. But still, that's part of the job too. Is you have to mentor and tutor in some ways a young quarterback who eventually they're going to want to replace you, and that's a tough thing. I could never do the type of things that these guys do. That's just
professional.
It's a certain type of mentality.
Professional sports is just so cutthroat that it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're a target your whole entire life, man, and your whole
Exactly.
career. While you're playing the game, you gotta take. It comes with the territory, man.
It does.
You gotta roll.
They understand that, but it's
doesn't make it any easier though,
No.
because like you say, they're family guys. They have a job just like you and me. You know what I mean? It's like, because imagine just walking into work one day, you have no issues, no nothing, you've been there for like 20 years or something like that, working your tail off, and the next thing you know, oh, by the way, we're firing you for this young hip, upstart who we pay literally half of your salary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. Just how
you
all
think
that
about
is.
it.
Cutthroat game, man.
You think about it, some of these guys are early first round picks. They go onto this team like Mariota with the Titans, and they're the show. It's their team, and their quarterback for how many years there, right? They have a couple bad games, they get removed, the backup comes in there, and they never see the field again.
Bingo.
And then they have to go to another team. They were the guy. They had like billboards on buildings. They're in magazines. They're on whatever, video game covers, whatever, right? They're the guy. And just like that, all it takes is a bad season, and you get replaced. Everyone can be replaced in these leagues, and then you're trying to find work with another team, where you were the guy, and now you're just trying to be, to fight for a job on another team like the Falcons or whatever, and that's why it's that mentality that it's just so. I couldn't imagine doing this.
Who do you think has the most pressure of all like major league sports? Is there one sport in particular or one position that gets like the most expectations? Like obviously the quarterback position is
that's probably what I would say.
Top contender. Goalies, I mean,
NHL too, yeah.
Point guards or guards in the NBA. What are the positions you feel like that have the most pressure, or do they all equally share that?
I mean, there's the power positions. You talk about quarterback, you talk about goalie, you talk about the center position in basketball. That could be tough, because that's an ever evolving position too. It used to be you just go down low. Now you have to be able to shoot. Now you have to play outside the rim.
Yeah.
You have to defend outside the rim as a big man. Their job is completely different now than it was when we were watching basketball growing up. And that's a very tough position to play. You get beat up a lot, playing that position. I think in baseball, catcher is extremely difficult. They're the brains of the game. They're the ones that calls the game. You have to crouch down the whole time. It's hard on your knees, and if you slip up just a little bit, again, there's that other backup catcher waiting to take your job, and I think that's a very difficult position to play. I mean, you're basically having a rock thrown at you the whole game, and
who else too?
I
think another position too that gets a lot of pressure, believe it or not, is a kicker. I mean, especially if it's something that where it's a one point, to make that difference, and you're the only person there that can make that that call. I mean, yeah, that there's a lot of pressure there involved with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those positions where you don't think about it until you think about it.
Coaches, yeah. No, definitely coaches.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Their jobs are on the line. I mean,
oh yeah. Whether it be right or wrong.
They do get paid handsomely, though. I mean, it's
the Texans have been
absolutely. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
A lot of sleepless nights.
Just ask Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
I think probably a goalkeeper in soccer I think could be a difficult one too. I mean, you let one in off your hands or something, and it's a big moment. I mean, there's not a ton of goals scored in soccer, but you let in a bad one, and your whole country's going to hate you.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty bad.
And on top of that, too, Mighty, goalie in NHL. I mean, you literally have 50 pounds of gear on trying to stop a puck that's the size of this.
Yeah.
Shooting past your face.
A frozen puck coming at you at about 80, 90, 100 miles. No, that's not fun.
Especially when you have three, 6 foot, 250-pound guys literally 2 feet in front of you.
And you go down, and now you have blades all over you.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, you have to be able to see with a face shield.
You have to have all the protection on, and it's a very unheralded position at times.
Oh yeah,
certain teams like mine took quite a while to finally get a goalie, and now they finally have a goalie, and they're rebuilding. Yeah, that's okay. We
exactly. So I think I know what Mighty's next jersey will be. Yep.
3 years, Jake. 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, right now I'm more worried just about the organization as a whole for the Sharks, man. I don't really know where we're.
I'm glad that finally the Flyers have seemed to figure it out. You just gotta suck. You gotta suck for 3 or 4 years, get those high-end talent in the draft, stack them up, do things the right way, and you can build. You can build in hockey. I'm sitting here, all these teams that win, Tampa, all those teams, they sucked for a few years. They got lucky to draft the players they did, but they did it, and they have a system that worked, right? All these other teams, every team that wins the cup, it's usually around the same kind of story. It's the team that wasn't very good for a time. They were bad when you had to be bad, when that generational talent was coming into the league, like a Crosby, Ovechkin, Stamkos, what have you. Maybe Bedard now with the Blackhawks. I mean, not like they needed help after that dynasty they had before, but anyhow, they were bad. They got the gift. So the Flyers' problem the last few years, or maybe more than a few years, is they didn't want to accept what they were supposed to do. They were trying to put little Band-Aid fixes on things. You can't do that. You just have to look. If you're just not going to be good enough, look. Well, us as a fan base, we're going to understand, but you got to be truthful with us. Don't try to lie. We're not going to go after Johnny Gaudreau, but we're going to go after D'Angelo for some reason. That didn't make any bit of sense at all. But anyhow, they didn't embrace the suck. I wanted them to embrace the suck the last few years. Now they're finally doing it. And, it's going to take some years, but I think they're finally starting to put themselves on that right path. And in a few years down the road, here we come, baby.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Wild. Just kind of like the Wild. We finally stopped trading away everybody to try to get everybody. We finally got rid of some bad contracts with some, really just sort of bad juju, mojo, whatever you want to say. There was Suter and that stuff. And now we can finally get our prospects up and going and get them developing and stuff like that. So when we're finally out of this cap hell in a couple seasons, we could be right up there with the top teams of the West, because now we have some money. Now we have some young guys that we can use if we need to for either trade bait or future of the team or whatever, So,
yep.
Well,
Vegas.
Jake, we had your old guy here for a bit, Chuck Fletcher.
Yep.
Well, he was an idiot. I'm so glad
We
that
tried to warn you guys. No.
well, I'm just so glad it's Briere and Jonesy now. And I know they were former Flyers, but I'm glad that now it's a new regime and hopefully they have that insight. And already they've seen, I mean, Briere's already made some moves. They said there's no untouchables. This is what we're open for business. We're going to suck for a few years. We're going to get that talent. We're going to rebuild. We're embracing the rebuild that should have been embraced for the last few years. Now we're going to do it and just bear with us while we work. It's like the construction sign is going to be up for a few years, but that's all I want. I just want my ownership to be truthful with me, a fan.
Bingo.
That's all I want. The Eagles know how to do it. The Phillies are doing it. The Sixers are still in their own way, but it's okay. Whatever it is. But the Flyers, I just wanted them to be honest, and that previous regime didn't get it. They didn't understand. They weren't, and that was to their downfall. And I'm glad they're gone, and we're just starting anew. And I'm glad that to embrace the suck for a few years to get the high end talent.
And I guess, like, kind of, with like Rez and Mighty, you could probably attest to that too. As a sports fan, it's like, okay, so case in point, what do I need to know with my teams this year? Are we going into rebuild mode? Are we supposed to be playoff contenders? Because for me, my outlook can be a lot different depending on what's going on. Like, are we going into a rebuild mode? So I know that, okay, we're probably not going to be for the playoffs or this or that, but what can I look forward to for this upcoming season that makes me want to keep watching the games and stuff like that? Or because for me, the problem with like my sports fandom and like my teams and stuff like that is we can never be bad enough to be bad. Like, I mean, the Twins, case in point, we're like 2 games above 500. Yeah, we have a 4-game lead in the AL Central. Like, granted, we're coming out of the halfway point, and it looks like we're finally starting to get some momentum here, but it's like, I was saying like this, like even going into like the All-Star break and stuff like that, we could win the division at sub 500. Only to
I really wish the Phillies were in that
division or something like that. And then with the Wild, we're still like in playoff contention just because we still have enough talent on there to push for the West while still having the developmental underneath. So honestly, in my opinion, the Wild might be one of the best chances in the next few years. The Vikings, I don't really know what to expect with them because one year we look like absolute dog manure, and the next year we're, playoff stalwarts and stuff like that. And it can be seemingly overnight, like literally with the exact same players and coaches. So it's just one of those things. And the Timberwolves, well, they exist. So anyway, that's about as far as I'll go there.
They're just there, taking up space.
They still need to put a wolf on the jersey. I'm still I feel a way about that. That embrace the name, damn it.
Yeah.
If I were the NBA, I would, if they want to make jerseys or Nike, if they're the ones that want to do these unique city edition jerseys, why don't they do like a logo or like a team name? I don't know what to call it, but something where it focuses on the team name. Like a Warrior, for example. Why don't you put like some sort of Warrior on there, or for 1 year? I think that would be kind of cool.
That would be like go with the name,
something like that. Or like a Pelican, New Orleans Pelicans. Put some menacing pelican on there or something.
Oh, they're menacing in real life.
Yeah, they are.
Careful with that. They look at you a wrong way. You better run. They're coming.
I think that'd be kind of cool if they did. If the NBA kind of experimented. I gotta tip my hat off to Adidas doing that reverse retro thing because I thought that was kind of cool. It didn't. It was short-lived, but I think they had something there. You know what I mean? And I feel like they could do that with the NBA.
My wallet though is happy that it's not an annual thing with them.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would do. It would just, it's bad enough with the city editions and the city connects. If the reverse retro was a yearly thing,
oh boy,
oh god,
I'm still not sold in the 2.0 for the Sharks. I mean, I don't know. Like, I see it pop up every now and then, but I'm like,
you still can't get yourself to.
I can't. I mean, and that says a lot because that's my team. And
I still want the 1.0 of the Sharks.
Ironically
enough, there was Burns on eBay, and I didn't go after it quick enough.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got a hurdle in a Fanatics. I found that here about 2 months
saw
ago.
that.
Yeah.
That was a nice one.
The crazy thing about mine, the Marlowe, was that I bought it in a blank, and they told me they were going to get it. They were going to get a Marlowe one because they were like, oh, this is supposedly his last season playing. And so they were like, well, you can leave it with us, and we'll get it customized for you, or we're going to get some pre-customized ones and you can return this one. Just don't pop the tags off or whatever. And I waited like a week later and they got them in, and I just exchanged my blank and got the Marlowe. But those are just such a beautiful jersey. The one thing that I'm kind of iffy about is because I have the Sharks, how they wore the commemorative patch with the shark on there with Marlowe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about getting a Marlowe patch on a Marlowe jersey. Like, is that weird? Like, that's kind of like getting like a Jerome Brown patch on a Jerome Brown jersey,
but Marlowe wore it though, right?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
So I don't think. I mean, as long as he wore it, like I hear what you're saying, but it commemorated him, right, for all those games played, and he's one of the all-time great Sharks. It's a great patch, and if it's on a Marlowe jersey, if he actually wore it on the ice, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think, it's a nice little homage to him as a great Shark and a great player. And Kate, I got the patch when Giroux got the record or whatever it was for games played as a Flyer, and I got that patch and I put it on a Giroux jersey,
Nice.
and it's the black, it's the same jersey they wore that night, and I had the patch put on it at the Wells Fargo Center, and it's on a Giroux jersey. It's the Giroux patch, and I have no issues with it. He wore it. It's a jersey he wore for one game as a Flyer. It commemorated him as being the all-time games played record or whatever it was, passing Bobby Clark or whatever it was at the time. And I did it, and that was I feel the same for Marlowe. He's an all-time Shark. That commemorated him. It's his jersey. He wore it. I say go for it.
And in my opinion, this is always how I've been. This is always what I believe. If you're willing to pay the money for it, get it how you want it. Screw what everyone else thinks. I don't even care if you get a jersey, like let's say you get a Kraken jersey and you put your last name on it, or you get like a case in point, you get the Sharks jersey, but you put like Marlowe on it for like a 2.0, even though if you never wore it or anything like that, whatever, That's up to you. At the end of the day, you're the one spending the money. You get it customized how you want it to, and whatever, Now, while I always agree with you, like I say, everyone has their own opinion, but at the end of the day, if you're the one spending the money on it, if you're the one who likes it, go for it,
Yeah, I thought about doing it because I have a few options here because the reverse retro, they didn't have the Marlowe patch, I believe. Nor did they have the anniversary patch, but he did have I think it was a captain patch that he had on there. And then the other jerseys that they wore, the other styles, they had them. So
that's the weird thing to me with those reverse retros, because they wear them during the season. It's weird to me that if a team has an anniversary patch, they don't put it on the reverse retro jersey, which is for instance, the Islanders celebrate their 50th or whatever this year, and it's a really nice patch. And then they went with the Fisherman, basically the 2.0, which I still have to get, and it doesn't have the and it's an option on Cool Hockey. I'm like, oh, but that patch would look so good, but they didn't wear it. But
yeah.
It's like my brain's hurting.
No, it did get a headache just thinking about it.
Yeah. Then again, I usually get most of mine blank though for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to hockey, like I said, I don't mind getting my stuff blank because there's so many ways you could go about dealing with it. Like I feel like it's different with hockey. Hockey and baseball, I feel like, when it comes to football and basketball, having those jerseys blank just don't look.
It basically looks like a glorified T-shirt.
Yeah,
like a weird T-shirt. Like
it just looks incomplete. You know,
it just looks
and,
off.
Is
yeah.
the Bobo jersey.
The
The Bobo.
the jersey. Yeah.
All right, we have a one of our on-air radio personalities is Anthony Gorgano, and he's been on Sports Talk Radio for years. Here, he does he used to be one network station. Now he's with another for the past however many years, and he does the afternoon show. And I listen to a lot, no surprise, I listen to a lot of Sports Talk Radio, right? So he does the afternoon show. And every now he'll say something and it just catches on in my lingo. I start using stuff. So he said when he was young, his parents used to get him the Bobo Eagles jerseys at like J.C. Penney's. They just had it had Eagles across the front and the name and the numbers. And I mean, you knew who the player was. They didn't put the name on the back, but it said Eagles and then the 7 for Jaworski and then 7 on the back. And he said, "Yeah, it was a Bobo jersey, but I got that. I had that growing up. My brother and I had this player and that player."
Yeah, Adidas, the '93 Ducks jersey. That's a classic too. I have the movie jersey of Conway, and I have a Goldberg one too, which is pretty cool. But the Adidas ones they look pretty nice.
Yeah,
those ones.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys think of their 30th anniversary? Have you guys seen that, or they just
30?
Yeah, the
Ducks,
the shoulder patch duck on the the crest.
It's cool. I still prefer the original in my opinion. I think that design is just classic. But
it will be in my collection.
I don't have any actual Anaheim Ducks jerseys. Like I do want to get a few, like the eggplant one. I just haven't gone around to getting them because it's tough, man. Because I'm out here in San Jose. Like if you wear something outside of the Sharks, you're basically a chum.
Yeah, especially if it's like the Kings or the Ducks or
the Kings, the Ducks, the Vegas Knights are probably the biggest, most hated team.
Yeah,
it's amazing how an expansion team is so hated.
Yeah, and even like with the Kraken too, there's a little bad blood between.
The Kraken's getting involved too.
Yeah.
It's a sea monster, man. So it can only be one. But I don't see like hockey fans being as crazy as like football fans. I think football fans are probably and soccer fans are probably the most ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to fans and stuff like that. But
yeah,
Klarna. He's gonna Klarna. What are you gonna Klarna? What are you gonna buy?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about. He said, "Oh, we had a Mighty Duck for a new season in SJs."
Although I will say this, I agree. I don't think it's to the level, at least here, as like Eagles, Cowboys would be, or something. But like
football is a whole different beast.
Those Flyers Rangers games,
brutal,
man. Penguins games,
Yep.
Every now and then, it gets a bit heated in that stadium.
Yeah, the Battle of Pennsylvania is like one of the. I mean, there's a reason why it seems like they try to make that as a Winter Classic or a Stadium Series like every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, yeah. The
Mighty.
funny thing to me is that when I was first really starting to dip my toes into the water of the Flyers in the NHL, for me the team was always the Devils. Because that was the team the Flyers couldn't beat. The Devils had that dynasty and Brodeur and Stevens and all those guys knocking out Lindros in the one game. And the Flyers had a 3-1 lead and blew it the 1 year in the Eastern Finals to them. I never had that just deep-rooted hatred for the Penguins like I did with the Devils. The Devils, to me, were the team. Yeah. And then the Penguins, and I get it, it's an interstate thing, and the Crosby, the fans never took to him from the beginning, and I get it. But, I mean, the Penguins, it never got to me like the Devils got to me. Like that, those playoff series, they got me. They got me pretty good back in the day. And then the Penguins, I know we've lost to them in the playoffs, but it never quite got me to the ire that those Devils series did back in the back in the 90s and the
What
early
I find-
2000s.
Kind of what I find interesting though is like I'm pretty sure isn't like Stadium Series round 1 is Flyers Devils, and then like I think it's the Battle of New York is the other game in like February, if I remember right.
Yeah, well, they wanted the Flyers and Penguins to play each other in the Stadium Series once every few years, and they did for a little bit, but then, it just the Flyers are playing. I think they're playing the Islanders in one of the Stadium Series games this year. They're playing. I forget if it's at Citi Field or wherever it is, but they're.
Because
Sam, what that is that's the city flag color for those hats. That's supposed to represent the city colors, the city flag colors.
Gotcha.
That's why the Phillies one there looks like a Rams colorway, a Los Angeles Rams hat, and it's because it's the same color, similar colors for the Philly flag.
Speaking of hats, you know what hats like I'm trying to find that are like pretty hard to find these days are the Mitchell and Ness Cooperstown logo brand when they did the Mitchell and Ness branded.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole pinwheel era of hats. I know they're starting to kind of bring them back a little bit, but man, I'm having a hard time trying to find those, man.
I think if you do a search for Cooperstown hat on eBay, you'll see them from time to time.
Yeah.
It's just a widened search. I have a handful. I have more than a handful. I have a nice little selection of the old Mitchell Ness MLB hats. And those are definitely nice.
Yeah.
Flag is not that color. Yeah, I'm not sure, Sam. I mean, I don't know exactly what hat you're talking. They got a Warriors color Astros hat that doesn't make sense. I'm not really sure which one that is, but
yeah,
I know one of their more recent drops was the city flag drop, and that's why you see all these crazy colorways for MLB hats. I like some of the new ones though. They did the fitteds, and I don't know if you guys know that I got the first one from the flagship. They weren't even out. They showed one to me, and they let me buy one in my size. So I got a Phillies one, fitted Mitchell and Ness. That's part of the new run. I was the first person to get it. Yeah, it's just because I just happened to be there at the right time at the right place, and so I like the set though. I like some of the new fitteds that they've been putting out. I want to go. I'm actually probably going to be going on Saturday to the store, see if they have that Marlins and Rockies with the inaugural patches on the side.
Yeah. A lot of stuff.
But no, I would definitely, Rez, I would say just periodically just do like a Cooperstown hat search on eBay because that's what they were. They were Cooperstown, right? The Cooperstown logo.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Mitchell and Ness. But every now and then you'll see some pop up, from those older, the 2000 era.
Yeah, I really want to find some of those older Cooperstown and Pinwheel era hardwood classic stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking what? Cooperstown or hard? Oh, you want?
Well, I'm saying for the Mitchell and Ness stuff, I'm looking for the Cooperstown.
Oh, okay, yeah,
for that stuff, but. Also, for like the hat wise, I'm trying to find a lot of those older pinwheel, new era styled hats, but they're hard to find in my size.
I know. So, every now and then, what I'll do is I'll do a hardwood classics hat search, and then what you can even do is on eBay. I think you can still do it. You can narrow it down by brand.
Okay.
And a lot of those hats were done by like Reebok.
Yeah.
Or Mitchell and Ness.
I remember those, yeah.
And you can just narrow it down to that one brand, and you might find, have more success. You don't have to weed through as much.
Right.
You can just narrow it down to, okay, this is Reebok, this is Mitchell and Ness, and this is everything that comes up. And you're right though, with fitteds, you have to get your size.
It's hard, yeah. I mean,
it can be, but I found some real gems just doing those type of searches over the years.
I'll try that.
Yeah,
I think. There's a lot of keywords that even like what I said with the true school, authentic.
Yeah.
college stuff, man. Like they show up. You know, there's a lot of gems in there. You'll find.
Anymore. When I do searches basically every day on eBay for Nest jersey. Oh my God, the stuff you have to weed through. All it is.
I know.
Is swingman's.
It's a whole database of
and Tiffany jersey, whatever the heck that is, and garbage after garbage after garbage after. Oh, that could be something. Garbage. No. Now I'm going up, and all the styles. Or here's all the style. The picnic table theme. And here's everything. Up. We're going. Oh, that could be something. Oh my God, it takes forever.
It can get frustrating, but you know.
Oh.
And then, of course, you always stop like a page or two before you actually find the gold that you're looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's happened to me a couple of times where I'm like just scrolling away, and I'm about to close it, and right when the scroll finishes, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for
Wait a minute, heads up. I gotta check this out.
Oh my God. And heaven forbid you're like to miss a couple days.
Oh, I know. That's the worst.
God.
When you're looking for something for so long, and then you don't find it, and you're just like, I'm gonna take a break for like a day or two, and then you look at the recently sold, and you see what you were looking for. You're like,
and of course, it's always within your budget too, and you're just like,
yeah.
I can always tell which jerseys, swingman jerseys, have hit like Ross, and Burlington Coat Factory and stuff, because you see so many of the Mike Bibby Grizzly jerseys.
Yeah.
Tons of them. The Sean Kemp Splash Cavs jersey. Tons of them. So these must be hitting these stores.
Yeah.
And all the flippers are throwing them on eBay.
Yeah. All right, fellas. I think I'm gonna start wrapping things up because I actually have to take care of some stuff, man. It's a little shorter live tonight, but I definitely want to thank everybody that was live in the stream. Thank you to Mighty Fan and Jake for hopping on and just joining me in this hangout for this episode 76.
Thanks for doing this as always.
Definitely, guys. If you're new, I think Alton. I'm not sure if you're new to this live, but I do these lives every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Pacific. I do take requests as well, so I know if I didn't get to your question, I'm sorry. I try to monitor the chat and also, everybody else here while I'm doing it. So I might miss something. But if there is something that you do want me to talk about on a specific live, please feel free to send me a message here on YouTube or hit me up on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram and also Facebook as well. So just message me on those platforms if you want to get a quicker, response from me. But yeah, man, I thank you guys. Do you guys have any closing statements you guys want to make before I start wrapping it up here?
Jake?
Well, I just, like I say, again, thanks for having us on. It's always fun doing these and stuff like that. And also, if you want to take a look, I did recently just pick up a couple of things. And like I say, to have one more coming in the mail within the next couple days. And if you want to hear more information or if you just want to hear more about another jersey collector, Minnesota Vikings and Minnesota Wild fan, I'm always happy to join. Always love to start talking about that stuff now that we're getting closer to football season again. Finally starting to get back into doing Vikings videos again, which I always enjoy doing. And also, I kind of credit Neil for getting me into doing that with your State of the Fan for the Eagles. That's really what kind of got me started on all that stuff. Yeah. So,
cool. Yeah, appreciate that. Mighty, any closing statement?
Again, thanks again, Rez. The wonderful live as always. Good talking with you and Jake. To our viewers, thank you all for the, continue that support to this man's channel because he puts in a lot of work. Okay, a lot of work. So if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified all future content from him because he puts in the work like quarterbacks do week to week to get ready for that week's game. Okay, and make sure you subscribe to Jake. All right. And also for me, and you can find me on YouTube, Mighty Mouse Fan 78. And I'm going to be starting a brand new series, hopefully tomorrow night, if all goes well, a Ross vlog. I'm going to be going to Ross. We're going to see what's there. I'll be going to Burlington Coat Factory from time to time, see what we got in our local places. I also do a weekly vid now. It's like a recap vid for what Fanatics and the Mitchell Ness sites have put up that particular week for jerseys and hats. So a little recap, a little rundown, give my thoughts on some stuff. I also have my In the Life series, which is an ongoing one, almost 100 episodes in. Oh, my God. And I am also going to be getting, as Jake said, back into the football season when it starts. Another Season of the Fan, the Philadelphia Eagles, Unfinished Business. And that's going to be starting in August. So there's a lot going on for all of us. So make sure you subscribe, if I can speak right, to all three of us and to all of our fellow Jersey heads as well.
Yeah, my channel is Jake the MN Sports Fan. So
for sure, check out these guys, man. They put their handles out. They provide great content as well, similar to mine and other things as well. Also, guys, if you guys follow me, please be on the lookout. I will try and drop part 3 of my recent vlog to the East Coast, hopefully by this weekend. I will try my best. I have other videos in the pipeline that I want to upload first, but there is definitely a lot of content that I have for you guys that I'll be uploading in the next few days here. So I appreciate you guys. Again, if you missed this live, don't worry. I will have another one hopefully next week on Wednesdays. I will keep you guys posted. Just follow, my Instagram or, my other social media handles to be notified and if there's any changes or whatnot. So with that being said, guys, thank you. Thank you guys again for all the continued support, and hopefully I'll see you guys again next week. All right.
See y'all.
Salute, everybody. Peace.